Watch this video to receive a discount code so you could get this beautiful digital collection for free. Hello and very warm welcome everyone, it's Marta here, and today I'm coming to you with another freebie collection. To receive the discount code, you'll have to watch the video, and somewhere in the middle, maybe towards the end, I will reveal the discount code. So when you put the collection to the cart and you add the discount code, that will give you 100% discount, so you will receive it as a freebie. The collection I've designed thinking about the Valentines, but I want it to be universal. The Valentine's Day is just one day per year, so I wanted for you to have the possibility to play with this paper for many more occasions. There is this beautiful floral design, as well as this like a pink pattern, which you can use for a baby card, for a Mother's Day card. And also, last but not least, you have 2 pages filled with the ephemera elements. There's lots of floral leaves, things like that, which will serve you for so many like birthday or other occasions. And of course, 14 lovely quotes. The collection is called My Dearest Heart, and I hope you're gonna enjoy it. I will be making a couple of the cards here, and one last thing I would like to let you know is that I like my cards to be large. But if you prefer smaller cards, you can always print 2 pages at one, or when you hit to print this PDF file, you can actually reduce the size. There is an option to print like 80% size, or 75 if you wanted to have it slightly smaller. This will also increase the amount of the elements, because if you print one full page and then 2 pages at one, you will have then difference in between of the different like leaves and butterflies, so that will also give you way more elements. So for my first card, I actually create DL size card. I've took a piece of the cardstock and I just score it at 4 inches. I slightly trim the sides just so the card will be teeny tiny bit smaller. That way I don't have to fiddle with it when I put a lot of layers, but I want to post it and add it to my envelope. Here I have this gorgeous design, and this one was inspired by a very popular TV series. I wonder if you can guess what may be. Let me know in the comment down below if you watch it, if you're a fan, or what is your TV series, preferably what you are watching right now. I would love to know that. So here I am trimming this panel, and here I have this sentiment, and as you can see, the pieces down below are cut by my brother's scan and cut machine. So that's one thing I really like. I can always print something. I am placing it on my mat and it's cut for me very quickly. But sometimes, and this is something I would like to say for those of you, my friends, who doesn't have the access to the machines, I also do a lot of fussy cutting, and don't be afraid, even if there's lots of elements, just divide them into smaller bits. What I like to do, I am grabbing a piece which I have to fussy cut. Firstly, I am separating it into all individual pieces, and then I am just sitting down, I'm watching some TV series, and I'm just fussy cutting, and before I realize, I have the full basket filled with like little elements. Here I grabbed the piece of the scrap paper I had. I thought this like a nice pink color shade, and this is a pearl paper. It will be looking very nice with this panel, but you could use gold, you could use silver, dependingly what would you like what effect would you like to achieve. I think the gold one is matching really nicely, but either way, the metal color, everything will be working fine. Here I almost made mistake. I've put this piece like too close to the gap I had here, because obviously you can see here I was previously cutting something else out of this paper, and I have this how to say that, a hard time to get rid of any scraps. I'm always keeping everything I use. I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna use it back again. And I must to tell you, my friends, in many occasions I actually do. I have this drawer system where I keep the scraps like a color coded, and then whenever I need something, I can just pull up the drawer, see if I have something, and I usually find the proper shade of the paper, like here, whatever I need to my card. I've cut this elegant label, and this is very old spellbinder die. I think this one was called Divine Opulence, but I'm not sure. I will double check it. And then I have this additional label, which was from one of the Deco Time craft set, and this one was kind of like a no name, and I've bought it in the local supermarket called not supermarket, it was like a local store called Action. Here I am attaching this panel to this pink mat, and this is teeny tiny border, but I just think that this is making a huge impact by adding this additional interest to the card. If you don't like adding too many matte layers, you can always grab your ink and create this pink border all around, or maybe like a brown for more vintagey look. I think this one will be working well as well if you have this kind of like a light brown, like a sepia color look. This will give it more vintagey vibe. Here I am attaching this little label on top of the pink one, and I could possibly cut the sentiment straight out from the white paper using this spellbinder die, but I really like the double look. I like having this elegant label, but I really like when it's different color than the sentiment on its own. I think it's just helping for the sentiment to pop out even more. And here I am just playing up with the composition. It's gonna be very simple, just a few flower, couple leaf elements. I think it's just adding extra something to the card, especially it's super quick. It's just something simple you can create within like 20 minutes if you need a card. And this one will be working well for anniversary as well. It doesn't have to be for a Valentine's, that could be any love theme like a wedding, anniversary, dependingly what sentiment are you gonna add on the card. Here I am just a very teeny tiny bit like arching the sentiment, so that will have additional extra dimension, and I am adding my floral composition so it's sticking out from underneath the sentiment. Once I am happy with the placement of my elements, I am starting to adhering them with the hot glue. This card was really super simple, and I actually managed to create all 3 cards within 1 hour time. Just to let you know, I always like to give you a rough idea if I create the card, how long it's gonna be taking. So just so you could decide whether it's something you've got time or you would like to have something simpler. But these cards, as I've mentioned, they are super simple, and I think this is a great also the entry level. If you are a beginner, if you're just starting your crafting adventure, definitely I encourage you to try digital collection, because all you really need is just to cut out the paper, fussy cut some elements, and this is a great way to enhance your card design, especially if you are just on the beginning of the journey and you have limited supplies, you don't have many dies, or you don't have the access to die cutting machine. That way you'll be able to create the card no problem. You can just cut the rectangle piece for the sentiment. So my first card is done, and for the second one, and this is the piece of the scrap paper. I know you can see this Christmassy poinsettia design on the inside, but this card, it's just gonna be for me, it's just only for the purpose of the video. I wanted to create something in more kind of the American style. I know I have a large number of the friends who watching my videos from the America, so I thought I will play with this size as well. And I think this is 4¼ by 5½, if I'm right. So here I create myself this card base using a piece of the scrap paper I have. I'm also using the other piece of the paper, and this is the remaining part from the piece which I used on the card number 1. And this one can go with any type of the occasion. That could be for a Valentine, but also could be for a birthday, for a Mother's Day card. This is this beautiful hot air balloon with this kind of like a heart shape, but it doesn't have to be for a Valentine. As I mentioned, when I was designing this card, my purpose was to create something which you can use all year round. Now, for my card, I actually decided to cut this sentiment which says love never fails. And in this card, I actually made a couple of the mistake, but I'm gonna show you and tell you everything. So here I cut this sentiment and I use my scoring board to mark myself the middle. When you cut the fish tail, I think it's just worth to double checking where is the exact middle of your sentiment, so that way you end up with this professionally looking even fishtail. Here I am just kind of shaping it a little bit, just so I could create this lovely wave. Now I had this idea to add additional bit of the pink layer, but because I didn't have enough paper to add underneath this panel, I thought, okay, let me just go shortcut and create the matting layer using my ink. And I really like it, and it was really nice, and something which I just said with the previous card. If you don't want to add too much layers, if you worry about the postage or something like that, this will be a great solution. And here is my mistake number 1. I haven't noticed that I actually have my hand dirty, so when I was twisting the sentiment, I end up with having this big pink stain right next to a word says never. And I was like, oh no, this is ruined. At first, I thought, let me just cut another sentiment. But as I hate being wasteful, I've decided that if you cannot disguise it, you just have to like it. And I thought like, okay, I cannot get rid of this stain. So what if I will color my whole banner with this pink color? That way, no one will notice that there was a stain there in the first place. And this was a great save up, and I really like it. So if it ever happened to you, don't panic. There's always a way. You can actually try to disguise the stain like I did here. And now it's my mistake number 2. I actually didn't wait for the ink to dry on the edges. So when I try to gently smear it, I actually end up making more mess than I planned. So here you can see on the bottom of the card, I end up with having 2 big, like a pinkish color blobs. And it was all because my ink on the edges wasn't really dry. So when I tried to gently smear it, I actually create those large stains. And I wasn't really happy. So there is 2 ways you can actually come out. You can come out from this situation. What you can do, you can of course trim the edges. Like if you trim the card by 5mm, you can end up without this stain being visible. Or what I'm doing here, I am taking my piercing tool. This is a leather piercing tool or stitching tool, and I am creating the stitching line. That way, this stitching line is kind of taking attention away from the stain, and because the whole edge of the card is lifting up, it's not as much visible as that would be in if the panel would be, you know, just left straight. So this is a great save up. If you have the uneven borders, you can always create this kind of a stitching line, or you can create the fake stitching line by placing your paper on a scoring board and then create that scoring line like 1mm away from the edge. This will really disguise all the imperfection, and this will just help you to, you know, make the whole card looking nice back again. So this stain, it's not gonna be visible too much. So once I have my elements done, I've decided to add a couple extra bits. bits, I'm gonna be adding this floral element as well as the butterfly. And because I already have this pink border around my panel and around the sentiment, I'm gonna be adding a little extra pink to my elements to help them blend within the whole vibe of this card. This is something I like to do whenever I like to achieve this nice cohesive look. And this is something, it's usually done with the brown ink, but I highly encourage you to dress up all your elements with a touch of the color, whether it's pink, blue, green, whatever is the main color of your card, and you will see how cool it looks like. So once I have all my elements ready, I'm just gonna quickly adhere them all together. I am adding liquid glue to the back side of my card, and then I am just trying to make sure it's nice and even. And once I'm happy, I am pressing firmly with my bone folder. That way all the liquid adhesive is spreading out, and this is actually minimizing the risk of the card to warp up. So if you're having a struggle with using liquid glue because your cards are getting warping, it's probably because you're using way too much adhesive, and secondly because you're not spreading it out thinly. If there's a thin layer, you can hardly see the glue. Well, you cannot really see it from the paper. And the paper I'm using here, because this is the question I'm getting quite oftenly asked about, this is a 160 GSM. I use this Navigator office paper. I will see if this one is available on the Amazon to give you the link, but any type of the paper which you'd like to work with will be working great here. Before I moved to Poland, I was using the paper from the British paper company, which I was buying in a bulk on eBay, and this one was working fine too. So if you are printing digital papers, definitely it's worth to try 2-3 different types of the paper, see which one is working the best with your printer. So here is a little close-up look on the card. Thanks to this flower, little like a ribbon string bow and the butterfly, it gets really nice dimensional look. For my last card, I will be creating this handmade card in 6 by 6 inch size. And for that, I am using this linen texture 12 by 12 paper, which I score in half, and then I am trimming my card. And I also trim it 1/4 of the inch, so this is really 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Here is this beautiful floral design, which I was mentioning at the beginning, and this one will be perfect for a Mother's Day card too. And I really like, whenever I design my papers, I always like to create one of those floral designs, because these are just perfect for the background papers. All you really need is just a cut layer, and then you can even put this white embossed panel, like use some favorite embossing folder and run it through, and once you put this white paper on top, you basically have your card ready. Here I am using this trellis paper, which is kind of the blended one. So this is actually the rest of the design paper which I was using on my card number 1 and 2, and here I'm just gonna using the rest of it on my third card. And this is awesome because I'm hardly having any scraps really after creating all of those 3 cards. Then there's this little pink paper which you can see on a right upper side, but that one I can actually create the gift pocket or add it to dress up the inside portion of my card. For my card, I actually cut additional square from this pink color paper, and then I am matting it with this white layer. And this one is around 4.5 inch size, this pink color paper, and then slightly bigger white mat. So once I have all of them ready, I can start assembling my card. And I am starting from placing this floral piece on my card, and I forgot. I actually started adding the glue when I thought I could actually cut out something in the central portion, like a little circle or something, but oh well, I just forgot about this. But for these other two pieces, I am joining this front panel with this white mat, and then I will place them on my card using double-sided foam tape. So I will end up having a little extra dimension. And I'm actually gonna create this card the most dimensional from all three cards I've created today. But thankfully, I trimmed the side of the card. Like before it was 6 by 6 inches, but I've created 5 and 3/4 by 5 and 3/4. I do have additional room to actually fit all of that dimension in my regular size envelope. So here I am placing this panel, which, as I've mentioned, I am adding the single layer of the foam tape, but this is beautiful dimension, and I think this white layer of this additional paper, which I stuck underneath this pink color one, it's really making dimension. Here you could see this like a hot air balloon or even sentiment on its own. Add couple pearls in the corner and you have this super quick card. I'm gonna be making my composition using few different elements, and here I am just starting to building it up. Some of these elements, they will be added with the just with the hot glue. The other one, I'm gonna be lifting them using double-sided foam tape, and each time I am just checking and kind of is seeing like the elements which are through the back, they will be like more flat, and once I'm getting additional elements like on top of them, I will be raising the amount of the foam tape I'm using. So here is the double one, and then I will use three layers of the foam tape for this hot air balloon. And here, this is just a regular foam tape I am getting from the hardware store. So to make sure that this one is holding really well, I am securing it with the hot glue before adhering it to my card. So here I am just tripling the layer, and because I needed slightly smaller piece, I am trimming this foam just accordingly to what I need. And as I'm saying, I am adding the hot glue on both sides. I'm trying to, I know one side I actually skipped, but I was just focusing on, finishing this card and I just forgot. But I highly recommend you, even if you have the best crafting store foam tape, it's always best to secure them with the liquid adhesive or hot glue, because the tapes tend to dry out with the time, and sometimes the card within a few years time they could start falling apart. So the liquid glue is definitely that should be your best friend, whether you like to work with the tape or not. As we are getting closer till the end of this video, I just want to give you the discount code, which is the 5 numbers, and it's 14784. So this is the discount number, and once you enter this 5 digits, this will give you 100% discount, and you can download this collection for free. And on this occasion, I just want to say thank you so very much to everyone who's been coming and watching my tutorials, for all your likes and shares. This is truly amazing. I'm super happy to have you here to be a part of my sunshine family. So thank you so very much. So here, going back to my card, I am building the composition. I'm adding a couple of the elements here. I trimmed the flower head because I really like the shape of the leaf, and I'm also adding my favorite string bow. This is a nylon string, and I like to loop it like a double bow, and I think this is just adding this additional extra interest to the card. So here I am securing the flower before I will add my bow, and I am gently kind of squeezing the bow underneath the sentiment. And in a second you will see all the close-up look on this cards, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you will grab this free collection and play with it, and you will create some lovely card. And if you do, please don't forget to share the cards. I would love to see your creation, whether you're posting on a Facebook, on a Instagram. If you don't have social media, you can always add the photo of your card to the YouTube channel, because YouTube is now having this community page where you can actually share your creation. And one last thing I would love to say to everyone who is actually creating your own videos: if you play with my collection and you will decide to create the video with it, give me a shout, like make a post on the community page, let me know about this, and that way I could add your video to the public list on my channel. So this hopefully could help you to gain some new views, to let everyone know that you are also making the videos. Last thing I want to show you here, I do have this envelope and I've printed the elements like 2 pages per one. This is something I was telling you earlier, and here I am putting the envelope card back to my envelope, and I'm using this smaller element to actually secure my card. I'm just gonna attach it to the top bit just for now, but to give you the idea how beautifully you can actually seal this envelope to make it matching with the with your card. So here is the final close-up look on these cards. I really like them. Let me know what you think. Here is my little boo-boo it makes on this card, but it's a good knowledge. I always like to share all my mistakes because it's a great learning curve. And here is the last, but I think it's my favorite one. I really like this card, and I'm so happy that I actually managed to get the smaller element to put on the envelope to match it up. Don't forget to use the discount code to get this collection for free, and of course, happy crafting. I will be coming back with another video shortly, and I hope to see you then. Have a lovely day, everyone, and bye bye.